Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another video for Eve Echoes. In today's video, we're going to be having a look at the real cost of capital ships. Now, most of this is going to be based around Dreadnoughts, simply because we don't have full details in regards to how things are going to play out quite as accurately for carriers, but we can sort of still use this information to extrapolate out from there. So, what we're going to be doing is looking at how much skilling and actually, flying a capital ship is really going to cost you, and hopefully this will explain why I'm so anxious, I think is the word I want to use, about these ships being added to the game, because I genuinely am concerned that a lot of people are going to go through these very extensive and expensive costs in order to fly one of these, because shiny new thing syndrome. Those people are going to end up in a capital ship, absolutely hate it, and have to pay all of that again to come back out of it. We're mainly talking about skill points, but I will also be covering things like the actual cost of building a Dreadnought, because that information has now finally been revealed to us, courtesy of the Chinese server. Anyway, if you do enjoy this video or find it useful, please do let me know by hitting a like on it, sub to the channel for all things Eve Echoes, dinging that notification bell to make sure that you never miss an upload. Again, I am still out at Masuna Fishing Camp, so if there are any problems with audio and things like that, I had some crackling yesterday on the microphone. I have no idea what caused it, I've got no idea how to fix it. I do apologise, that's just how it goes when I'm out and about and away from sort of my home studio, as it were. Anyway, so first things first then, let's actually have a look at the physical costs of building a Dreadnought, as I said, courtesy of the Chinese server. Now, I've got these all saved into a gallery on my phone. They're not particularly high quality images, I'm afraid. Obviously, everything is written in Chinese, but if you are an industrial, hopefully this should all make sense to you. So here we are looking at the Revelation first of all. Obviously, you can see to make the blueprint, you are going to need to use a Mars ship debris, along with different data cores in order to reverse engineer that. But on the left-hand side, we have all of the different capital ship components that you're going to need in order to put one of these together. And you can see the numbers next to these. Again, the names are all in Chinese, but hopefully if you are familiar with building capital ships, you should recognize what these icons all mean. And if we were then to scroll across here to the, I almost said Chimera, it's not Chimera, it's the Phoenix. You can see again what components are required to build this. I'll leave this on screen for a few moments, give you enough time to screenshot it if you wish to. Then we move on again to the Minmatar Republic's Naglfar, probably my favourite looking of these now. It's actually really grown on me, the Naglfar. Still will never fly one, as we'll discuss in a moment, but there's the stats and materials for building one of those. And finally then, the ugly duckling of the bunch, the Galente Federation Moros. And there it is, with all its details here on screen. Now you can see that again, there are a lot of capital ship components for these. These are going to be incredibly expensive ships. What we can't tell from the information here is how much ISK this will actually cost to switch the oven on before obviously skilling into things like capital ship manufacture. Remember, obviously that will only go live the day that these are added. And interestingly enough, talking about skills, that's basically where we're going to be headed here, and I'm going to move on to this little image that I've put together myself here. Now, what I've done here, starting at the top and working down, I have looked at how many skill points you have to put into Frigate Command, Destroyer Command, Cruiser Command, Battle Cruiser Command, and Battleship Command, and then the same for Advanced and Expert tier, and I've then extrapolated that data into what this could cost for a capital ship, and I've done that for basic, for advanced, and for expert, along with a total to get all the way up to 555. I am of course assuming that capital ships are going to have that basic, advanced, and expert. I have no reason to believe they won't do that. And looking at how this extrapolates, when I was actually putting all this together using data in game, one of the things I noticed was actually there are patterns. For instance, if you look at Frigate Expert Command costs the same as Cruiser Advanced Command, and Frigate Advanced Command costs the same as Cruiser Basic Command. You get these sort of patterns repeating, and it's the same when we look at the weapons. You'll notice that when we look at, for example, small weapon upgrade, that is the same as medium weapon operation, and so on and so forth, at basic level at least. There are some changes at expert tier, and things do shift around a bit there, but there are patterns that emerge, and if we look between small and medium, medium and large, we can hopefully accurately extrapolate what this will actually cost going up to capital tier. Now, of course, if you are flying a carrier, you don't have high slots in order to put capital weapons. You're not going to be putting capital lasers on on an Archon, for example, but we can kind of guess that the same will be true going from, say, drone operation and upgrade, which is the same as small missile, small laser, that kind of thing, up to having fighters. So I imagine small fighters will be the same as basically where we've gone from small, medium, and large weapons up to capital weapons. I imagine that'll be the same small, medium, and large drones going up to capital drones, in inverted commas, obviously being fighters. Now, what we can see here is an absolutely monstrous set of information. So looking at just the command starting off, because capital command we know is one of the skills you're going to need to train to level 5 very, very quickly. It's the one that we know that all of the dreadnoughts, all of the carriers will use. We also note that these are going to be carrier command and dreadnought command. We've seen from opening up the stat page of the carriers themselves and the dreadnoughts that these do have 2 separate skills. It's not just like, battleship. It's more like cruiser and battle cruiser, though I do have every belief that they will be the same skill points. I don't see why dreadnought or carrier command would be more expensive than the other. They should, theoretically at least, be similar, if not exactly equal to each other, and I've just therefore put that as capital. Again, this is all benchmarking, this is just guesswork based on mathematical progression. So looking at capital command, you're looking at 931,071 skill points in order to hit capital command 5. If you want to go up to advanced capital command 5, that's an additional 3,686,401, and the expert tier should theoretically cost 8.883 million skill points. The total amount to get yourself up to carrier command expert 5 or dreadnought command expert 5 would be theoretically 13,500,672 skill points. Now, I'd ask you here to open up your skill page in game and check what your total skills are. If you are going to reskill your character completely, how high can you get up command right now? We're not even looking at things like, for example, engineering or defense upgrade. Those are going to be additional skills on top of this for a similar amount of skill points. So, for example, if you wanted to get a carrier up to carrier command with carrier engineering and carrier defense upgrade, for example, to advanced, you're looking at about, well, over 10 million, because you're looking at 3.686 million to get to advanced command 5, and then you've got that across 3 skills in total, which is more than 10 million skill points. That is not a cheap amount of thing at all, and that's before we've even started looking at the weapons, and these somehow get even more expensive. If, for example, we look at, again, capital command, we're looking at 931,071. If you want to get your capital weapon operation up to basic 5, that's going to be 2 million. 2,005,331 skill points. That is literally more than twice what you are spending on command. And if you get, again, if we look at this going up to advanced, that's now 4.096 million skill points to get capital laser advanced capital laser operations to 5, and that's not including the points below it. So obviously if you wanted to get, for example, capital laser operation, advanced capital laser operation, that's 2 million for the basic 5, and then an additional 4 million for the advanced 5. So that's going to be 6 million skill points just in the operations of the weapon system. Then if we look at upgrade, and remember that upgrade basically uses the operations of the tier below it, a tier above it, sorry, then again we're looking at capitals costing 3 million just for capital laser upgrade 5, and an additional 6.9 million to get to capital laser upgrade advanced 5. What we're looking at there is that if you wanted to get, for example, you wanted to fly a Revelation and you want to have advanced Dreadnought command, advanced capital laser operation, and advanced capital laser upgrade, you are looking there at upwards of 16 million skill points. And again, that's before we even start to look at things like engineering or defense upgrade. And I've actually put this all into the bottom there in a nice easy chart as well, so that you can see it all there. If you wanted to get operations and upgrade to 5 of capital lasers, I'm using lasers as the example here. If you want to fly a Revelation and have capital laser operation and capital laser upgrade 5, that's going to cost you 5,077,331 skill points on top of the 931,071 to get your Dreadnought skill, Dreadnought command up to basic 5 as well. So now, if we were to extrapolate that outwards, you can basically say it's almost 1 million for Dreadnought Command 5. Same again for Dreadnought Engineering 5 and Dreadnought Defense Upgrade 5. That's 3 million on top of the Operations and Upgrade to have all of your Dreadnought skills at base 5. You're looking at nearly 10 million. A good clearing 8 million. Clearing 8 million skill points just to get to basic 5 and to get to advanced. Well, yeah, you can see there that it's about 3.6 million for the command. Again, times that by 3 for engineering and defense upgrade. You're in excess of 10 million there, plus an additional 11 million just for the weapon system, making you sort of 21, 22 million skill points required to get a Dreadnought up to advanced 5 in all of its skills. Now tell me, how many skill points do you actually have on your character? Because things are about to get worse. Whilst you are currently checking out what skills you have on your character and how many skill points you have, I want you to go to either armor operation or shield operation, and notice that these have now also been changed, and they explicitly state small, medium and large shield boosters, or small, medium and large armor repairers. Fortunately, hardening, shield hardening and armor hardening still are just, the one size fits all. It's the same with afterburner and micro warp drive, but if you want to have skills that improve how your capital shield boosters work or your capital armor repairers work, it looks like we're getting new skills for those as well, which you're going to have to train on top of what we have here. So again, if you want to get to basic ability of flying a Dreadnought, again, you're looking at upwards of about, call it 9 million skill points there, just to get all of those skills to basic 5. Then you're going to need to get your shield skill all the way up as well, and I've got no reason to believe that that's going to be a cheap skill. Now, I don't know. Some people obviously will go for this, and if you're the kind of person who has multiple ults, who are playing the game for different things, it might make sense to dedicate one of your ults to Dreadnoughts, for example. Again, I use Dreadnoughts as the worst case scenario here, because I don't believe that Dreadnoughts are going to have any use outside of very specific PvP scenarios. I don't think anyone is going to really use a Dreadnought in PvE, unless they really have to, because they've got nothing else they can do on that character, or any other characters to use. I think that when you put the cost and that into this, these are not going to be significantly better than just battleships for PvE. You are still going to need a fleet around you in order to hit those smaller, faster moving targets. So I don't know. I genuinely think that Dreadnoughts, you're going to be spending all of these skill points, plus all of the ISK required to actually buy the damn thing in the first place, and you're just going to be disappointed with it unless you happen to have a load of other ults that are making your money and doing other content for you. You're basically dedicating a character to Dreadnoughts solely for going out and taking enemy citadels or blowing up enemy capital ships as well. I think carriers, as I've said before, there's a bit more of a grey area here. I think carriers do actually work in PvE. They're tanky enough to survive quite well, and the fighter waves do actually do pretty well. Those fighter squadrons do actually do pretty well in PvE. So there, I don't know, but we don't know how that's going to work. I mean, as I said, I'm assuming that, like we're looking here at small, medium, and large, then capital, weapon operations, and weapon upgrade, I imagine we'll have fighter operations and fighter upgrade as well, and that'll follow the same kind of skill point basis as like small, medium, and large drones do. If you look at the weapons I've gone for here, it's the same amount of skill points whether you're looking at small lasers, small missiles, or small drones. So these weapon skills here should be the same for fighters, which are basically capital level drones. But then again, we know that drones also have the drone skill, which is that additional one that gives additional range and other aspects to your drones. We don't know if there's also going to be a fighter skill that carrier pilots are going to need to go for, in which case look at all of this information and add additional skill points again for that carrier skill in order to actually, for the fighter skill, sorry, in order to actually use those carriers. I hope that's not the case, and I hope that basically that's all rolled into the carrier command skill, which we've seen is on the carrier ships themselves, but we genuinely don't know. We just don't know at this point in time. This is just a sort of example. It's me running some numbers and hopefully giving you some good information ahead of time as to whether or not you actually want to go ahead with this, because again, if you spend all of your, if you do a full respec of an entire character in order to meet these skill point requirements, and then decide that actually you really don't like flying the ships and they're not for you, you're going to have to spend all of that respec again in order to come back out of it into something actually useful and enjoyable for you. That is the big red flag I have right at the moment when it comes to capital ships, and I do think people need to be very prepared for what this is actually going to take in order to fly one of these. I think a lot of people are just going, oh, they're big ships equal better ships, and I'm just going to do this and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. I think you need to be an incredibly specific player in order to want to fly capital ships and actually to make that work. And I do genuinely believe that if you are the kind of person who is playing on one account, one single character, then capitals are not going to be for you. If you're like me and you have multiple different characters, like I've got Captain Benzie and Silent Rose and a couple of others, I might turn one of those others into a capital pilot. Because if there's nothing, you know, capital going on, I can still go over to Benzie or to Silent Rose, and I can still go ratting or joining in things there that are, you know, not using the capital. But if a situation arises when I actually can use the capital, I can jump across to that character and have fun with it. I just think that if you are the kind of person who is running one character, then capitals are probably not a good idea for you, unless that one character is incredibly specialized and you are okay with it being that specialized. I just want people to be forewarned into this. I am genuinely concerned for the community that we're going to get a whole load of people who dump into capital ships, are disappointed, and then either end up angry or, in a worst case scenario, leaving the game. And I know that a lot of people sit there and say, oh, well, if a whale, you know, drops a couple of $100 into a game and then quits, oh, well, you know, lol at the whale. Why? That is someone who could be supporting this game, who could be a member of your corporation or alliance and could be having fun with. It's someone who could be repeatedly putting money into the game, but because they've had a bad experience, they are leaving. Ultimately, anyone leaving the game is a bad situation that we want to avoid where possible. Anyway, folks, I hope you find this useful. While I do the outro here, I am going to move back across to the different Dreadnought images. If you missed those and you want to screenshot those again now, you can do so. But I hope this information has been useful. It's a bit different from my usual kind of content here, just going over what this could be, how these skill points can work. And again, I do really want to just say this is based on extrapolated data. It's not 100% confirmed, it's not 100% accurate. We don't know how much these are going to cost exactly for skill points or ISK, but we can just get a rough idea with the information that I have presented to you in this video, and I hope that that has been helpful. Anyway, folks, let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you disagree with my maths, if you think I've missed something, if you think I'm being uncharacteristically unfair to these poor, helpless capital ships, let me know in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Again, I do apologise for any audio issues or things that have happened here, me being at Masuna and the microphone sort of playing up a little bit at the moment. Hopefully it's been enjoyable. Hopefully this is useful for you. Please do let me know. Anyway, a happy sailing and see you in New Eden.